Sydney Sweeney just did it again. The moment she walked into Variety's Power of Women event, every camera in the room turned her way. But this time, it wasn't just about the sparkle of her silver dress. It was about what that moment meant. The Euphoria star, known for shaking up Hollywood's idea of beauty and power, arrived in a sheer, metallic gown that had people talking long after the event ended. It wasn't a shock move, it was a statement. Sydney wasn't just dressing to impress. She was sending a message. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe and like Glance of Fame, your go-to for the hottest Hollywood stories and untold celebrity moments. When Sydney stepped onto the red carpet, it was like a flash of silver lightning. Her Christian Cowan gown shimmered under the lights, sleek, metallic, and daringly sheer. It was elegant but with an edge, just like Sydney herself. Fans immediately flooded social media, calling it the look of the night. But what really made people talk wasn't the style, it was the statement. This wasn't about shock value. The sheer fabric and confident posture told one story. She's done apologizing for taking up space. After years of being labeled and underestimated, Sydney has learned to turn every camera flash into a moment of power. Sydney's always been aware of how people see her, the headlines, the comments, the constant labeling. She's just a pretty face, some say. Others call her a sex symbol. But in her own words, they couldn't be more wrong. In a recent interview, she said, "I just feel good, and I'm doing it for myself. I feel strong." That's the real Sydney, confident, unapologetic, and done with trying to fit anyone else's idea of who she should be. She's not chasing validation, she's reclaiming it. Every outfit, every role, every move is her way of saying, "I define me." Just a few days before the Variety Gala, Sydney had already sent fans into a frenzy. This time, not with a dress, but with her hair. Gone were her signature soft waves. In their place, a sharp, bleach blonde bob that instantly had people comparing her to old Hollywood icons like Marilyn Monroe. It wasn't just a new look, it was a signal. Sydney was stepping into a new era. The transformation came right as she premiered her upcoming sports biopic Christie, and it couldn't have been more fitting. The bold cut reflected a tougher, grittier side of her, one that mirrored the real-life fighter she was about to portray on screen. For her role as boxing legend Christy Martin, Sydney didn't just act, she transformed. She gained nearly 30 pounds of muscle and trained 3 times a day for months. But what truly amazed people wasn't just the physical change, it was how deeply she connected with Christie's fight to be taken seriously. In her speech at the Variety event, Sydney said, "I'm not a fighter in the ring, but I recognize something of myself in Christie. Hollywood may not throw punches, but Sydney's had to fight in her own way, for respect, for space, for her voice." When Sydney walked onto the Variety stage, the room fell silent. Standing beside her was the real Christy Martin. 2 women, 2 fighters, same strength. In her speech, Sydney said, "Every one of us has our own fight." And Christy reminds us that strength doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it's just getting back up, again and again. It was one of her most powerful moments yet, proof that she's not just another star in a gown, but a woman using her spotlight to inspire. And what makes Sydney's story even more captivating is what she's building behind the scenes. Through her own production company, 50/50 Films, she's creating opportunities, telling stories that matter, and taking control of her career. She's not waiting for Hollywood to hand her power, she's making it herself. In the end, that silver dress wasn't just fashion, it was a reflection of everything she's become. Bold, fearless, and unapologetically herself. Sydney Sweeney didn't just show up to shine, she showed up to fight. So, what do you think? Is Sydney redefining what a true Hollywood power woman looks like? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and like Glance of Fame for more celebrity stories that go beyond the surface.